Hey, what's up, guys? Blake from Top Dog Digital, and what I wanted to talk about with you guys in this video is virtual assistants. So, I think there's probably a really good use for some of you to look into the use of virtual assistants and putting them in a position to help you in some aspects of your business. But I also wanted to talk about some areas where I do not believe you want to use virtual assistants in the junk removal business. All right. I just got off of a call with one of my clients, and we were discussing sales calls, and he's trying to take himself out of the business, right? Which is a natural thing. Most of you should be looking to do that at some point, to where you can remove yourself from your business so that you're not the true focal point to where everything filters through you, right? We built a business to at least give ourselves a little bit of freedom along the way. Quite frankly, we know we're not going to get that immediately, right? It takes time to build that, but eventually that is something that you should be trying to build upon. And having a team in place, or in this case, some virtual assistants on your team, is a useful way to start to do those things. However, phone calls and having a virtual assistant deal with calls is not one of them, in my opinion. So I want to start there, because that was the conversation him and I had, where I was telling him, like, look, these are reasons why this is a bad idea. We've already seen call centers sort of struggle who are dedicated and trained towards this. It's going to be very hard for you yourself to train an appointment setter, especially overseas, on how to structure and do these calls and have a decent conversion rate, right? Your conversion rate is going to drop significantly, and it's going to affect your business. I told him, when it comes to phone calls and sales calls, if you're looking to take yourself out of that role, then realistically, he's probably going to have somebody on site that he can work with directly to do something like that. And he would actually save money in the long run instead of lose money. Because, while an assistant is cheap and he can outsource that at a cheap rate for a virtual assistant, he's going to lose so much more business that way, that it would actually be more cost effective for him to pay somebody more money locally to work with directly than to outsource it to a virtual assistant. However, virtual assistants can be very useful in business, all right? When it comes to stuff like data entry, these tasks that are in that $10 an hour bucket, we call it, those are the type of tasks that belong to a virtual assistant. You should not, over the course of your business, be focusing on those $10 per hour tasks, we call them. That bucket should be outsourced to typically a virtual assistant or somebody on a lower level pay scale. Because you as a business owner, you have 100 things on your plate. You need to prioritize the things that are most important to your business. So something like data entry would be a good example to have a virtual assistant for. Another example for the industry itself that could be really useful for a virtual assistant is when you're looking to do some of those connections to like realtors and property managers in a local area. I know that some of you have spoken to, you sent a few emails here and there and reached out, probably not a lot, right? You haven't had the time to send out that information. Well, this is a good example of something you can use to send out that information on a consistent basis. So having a virtual assistant actually find realtors in the area, property managers, storage companies, and reach out to them via email. That's something that you could have an assistant consistently do to get you in front of those people, right? And responding and setting yourself up there. Another thing that you could have a virtual assistant do is to help with scheduling. All right. So when it comes to reschedules, when it comes to stuff like that, handling reschedules, monitoring the schedule, again, mostly data entry tasks, keeping track of customers who are coming in if you don't have a scheduling platform, so they could be the one to actually put together a list for you of names and numbers to keep track of that so you don't. These are all data entry examples for a virtual assistant. And there's a lot of other tasks that they could do as well, guys. The main way to find out if this is something, whether it's a need or not, is to actually lay out the tasks that you do on a daily basis and label them. And if you're finding that you're doing tasks that you should not be doing in your business and finding that that's taking an hour out of your day, 2 hours out of your day, 3 hours out of your day. These are tasks that you need to take and pass on to somebody else so that you could be focusing on the dollar generating activities in your business and not the ones that are just time consuming to where they feel like you're doing something productive, but really you're not. All right. So those are a couple examples there of what you could use for, virtual assistant. There's a lot of different things, and assistants, don't feel like, if you're not knowledgeable in virtual assistants, don't feel like these are people who are untrained or unqualified. We've worked with plenty of assistants within our business, and I can tell you they're some of the most qualified people you'll run into. Just because they have a lower pay rate than typically people here does not mean that they are not qualified. All right. But again, even with their qualifications, the main reason I would not have them do sales calls is because this is not a simple industry to just hop in and have a simple sales call. If this were plumbing and you were just, setting up one price, which was, hey, this is our price to show up to your house or something like that, and then having somebody price on site, that'd be a little bit different. In junk removal, you get too many questions about pricing. And an assistant is not going to be able to navigate those conversations in a way that's going to be effective for you to close most of the jobs or calls that come in that should be jobs for you. All right. So I would prefer, if you go that route, use them more so for data entry, things like that, reaching out to property managers, sending out those emails, pulling lists. Another thing they could do is social media. So you guys really, a lot of you are kind of lacking in social media. It's not really your thing, or some of you don't have the time to do it. Well, now you could put together a virtual assistant who might have a background in social media, and you can have them set up those posts for you to where you're consistently posting reels, consistently posting on your business pages, instead of you having to do that. Because again, that is a smaller bucket, $10 an hour task that you can actually outsource. Yet that task alone could generate you a lot more business, especially if done consistently. All right. So when it comes to assistants and stuff like that, guys, I do have a pretty good level of expertise, and a lot of people that I'm connected with who actually fully train virtual assistants and set them up for placement inside of businesses. So if it's ever something that you guys are looking for, I can definitely refer you to some of the right people. Typically what they do is they'll fully train them, and they will set you up with a line of interviews. Typically, it's like 8 to 10 assistants you'll interview at one time and find the one that fits the most for what you're looking for and your business. So if you ever need a connection or referral for anything like that, guys, please let me know. I'm here to help. Again, we have a few in our business that have been working in it for the last year and a half that do really well. They're very loyal employees. Hardworking. So when you find the right ones, they really can be a backbone to your business and help you focus on the things that you're supposed to be focusing on, and not so much on the smaller tasks that should be outsourced. All right. So hopefully this helps you guys. Again, if you liked the video, give me a like, subscribe to the channel. Love producing this content for you guys, and hopefully help and bring some value along the way. And outside of that, have a great day.